All right, guys. There's a wood plug. Now, all I had out in the field was the tape. Here's a wood plug in here. It's between this arm, which is fully adjusted, and the wheel tensioner on the chain. We needed that plug to get tension on the chain. I believe it's missing a part, but irregardless, now we've got this plug in there. This plug is held in right here. This double strand here, which is on very tight wire, it can't slide out. Then these two, very tight, it can't come out of that slot. So it's just something, more than likely, that thing would last 100 years. But all we needed to do is last until I'm able to order another drive chain for this, another front sprocket, drive chain, rear sprocket. So, because they're all, when you replace the chain, you replace everything. They're all worn a little bit. So the bike's got 1,400 miles on it. But after doing this right here, you may not have to do it for a while. So just, you know what I mean? Once I put that plug in there, you can see there's a lot of tension. The wheel is putting a lot of tension on this chain. There's no way it's going to come off the sprocket. And there's no way that plug shouldn't come out. It shouldn't come out. So, like I said, it's a good makeshift for out here in the wilderness. And we've completed it, so hopefully it stays in, and we'll take this bike on a few good rides still with that plug in. Anyways, not bad. I'm not even feeling that goddamn. Let me tell you something, man. I have a massive crescent wrench. You take this fucking pedal off, right? And you fucking stick that crescent wrench on the end. I would rather take it off and do it, but in a vise, but you know, I gotta tell you, it's not even bothering me too much. So I'm not really worried about it for this trip. The whole idea is to just keep this bike rolling. You know, we took it in to the guy, and I do believe he missed putting a part back on there, and finally just said, fuck it, this looks good to me, goodbye. Nice talking to you. Either way, we got it done. He did get my brakes bled. So I'm very thankful for that. Let me put my glasses on real quick. I gotta take a look at something here. We're done with this project, so. Oh, that's a screw. I'm trying to see why the guy had to take the brake pads off. I just can't. I mean, the wheel off to do this bleeding. He's an expert, not me, as far as bleeding brakes. I'm surely not going to argue with him. But I know you can bleed it down to this line here. Once it starts to bleed out of here, when you have the pot or the funnel or the bowl or whatever you want to fucking call it, that screws into the housing, brake housing up on top, you fill it full of fluid, you loosen this and it'll start it'll drip out of here. So you tighten it up so it drips a little bit, and you just keep pumping those brakes, and it should clear the air and it should pop out of here. Especially when you put the bike upside down just like this, because the air will want to come out of there. But you got to have the bowl that screws into the, or funnel, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the fuck they call this shit these days. But once you do that, even here, you should have the front of this bike up. And it should take the air out of there. I shouldn't have a problem doing it. I'm going to have that kit with me. I don't see a problem here anymore, but you got to have the bowl to do this. They only charged me $41 to bleed the brakes, so that's interesting too. Okay guys, I'm going to shut her down here. I got to relax.